Hello, everyone. Welcome. Sideline Brief Podcast on episode 189. NFL Week 4 action concludes tonight. Doubleheader on Monday Night Football that is going on as we are recording. So we won't talk about that, but we'll talk about the rest of the games that happened Thursday and Sunday, including the nail biter of a game last night. One of our first ties in a while. We'll talk about that and all the other ones. So stay tuned. Hop right into this week 4 action. Let's start with Thursday night. I can't even tell you who played on Thursday night. Seahawks, Cardinals. This one ended on a field goal, right? I believe the Seahawks got the ball last.
I mean, it did, but the Seahawks were in good position. I'm pretty sure I think it was 20-6 they were up. They allowed the Cardinals to get back into the game first and foremost. And then I think they missed a field goal to pretty much keep the game out of reach at the end of the game as well. So a lot of things.
Yeah, wasn't it like a 58-yarder or something? It was pretty long.
Yeah, but I think he missed like a 43-yarder.
Yeah, I mean, my own takeaway was Marvin Harrison was dropping passes left and right, but he made the two most important ones: the one touchdown, and then wasn't there like a long third down catch that he made and kept the drive alive? Well, when they scored that last touchdown to tie.
Yes, I mean, to be honest, he's been a little bit out of sorts, I guess is the best way to put it, so far this season. Personally, I thought we were going to see a little bit more growth going into year two, based on his production in year one, but I don't know the connection issue. Personally, I don't think it's a Kyler Murray issue getting in the ball or getting the balls in certain places because that whole product of it seems pretty all right. It seems to be more pressed on the fact that his receivers, including his go-to number one, is struggling in that aspect.
Yeah, I might have to agree with you on that one. We'll see how they look moving forward. Sunday, I guess we'll start with the Ireland game. Steelers, Vikings. Steelers looked good in the beginning. I was thinking, might have a vintage Aaron Rodgers game, but
He cooled off.
I think the Vikings, he cooled off. Maybe, I mean, you could say he had like a half of old Aaron Rodgers. I only made it to the first half because your boy was working super early in the morning. So if you want to take over this one, I don't really have anything besides the first half.
Well, I mean, I watched the full thing of this. The problem with this was the Vikings were pretty much never in the game. Anytime it seemed like they were doing anything, they turned the ball over in some sort of fashion. I mean, they even had an interception, or not an interception, sorry, a fumble called back, and it was ran down for a touchdown. I mean, they could have lost so much worse than they did. They just did not put the performance back to back that they did against the Bengals. I think a lot of people, including myself, were thinking they were going to take advantage and really make some noise with this game because they're going to play two games on the road on the road, or pretty much, and I think they're playing in London next week. So they're just going back to back in England. They fully prepped themselves. They brought all the clothes out. They got the good places to sleep because they booked the whole entire pretty much resort for 2 weeks. I mean, it just didn't put it together though. That's the big issue. I don't know how much better they're going to be against the Browns when that defense can pretty much stop anybody for most of the game until their offense just can't groove and get anything going anymore. But that might not be a problem because Carson Wentz. Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, Carson Wentz. I mean, I kind of alluded to it at the last game. He was not all that. I mean, he played okay, good enough to win, but When you factor in the Vikings had 2 defensive touchdowns, not like he had to do much, and he was mostly just dinking and donking. And he was basically doing the same thing from what I saw and remember from the first half. So we'll see if they can bounce back with the Browns next week in London. What we have next? I think about the 1 o'clock games. Any games particularly you want to go over, or should we just go down the list?
Well, there was only 2 games worth watching the whole time. One of them ended sad, where Malik Neighbors is out for the season. Um,
Yeah, yep.
and the other one is Tampa versus uh, the Eagles. But
Eagles.
honestly, that wasn't even a truly a game either. That was just let's throw the scoreboard together real quick at the end and make it not look as bad. Um, Maybe you can say the Dolphins Skins game could have been a good one, but in my honest opinion, from what little I watched of that game, the Falcons were always ahead and always consistently looked in control. Um, so in the case of the Chargers game, I think it more relied on the fact that I think the Chargers were due to lay a dud. Um, I guess all the hot stirring that Jackson Dart has done to um, Herbert right before the game maybe did something because Herbert did look a little cheeks. Um, he had one good dime,
Yep.
but overall, I think that was probably the best game on at 1 o'clock. Now, mind you, I went to sleep because we started drinking during the Dublin game because we were celebrating that, drinking a little mimosas and stuff. So the 1 o'clock games, I can honestly say that not a lot of them were keeping my attention as I was flipping through the channels and trying to hop around to each one. I mean, honestly, I was watching the Panthers. You had to turn that crap off. That was an atrocious spectacle they put out there. Titans as well, atrocious. Didn't look good. Um,
Hmm.
Next, who was it?
Out of the 1 o'clock games, I
Oh, the
think you're only
Lions.
missing the Saints
Yeah, Bills,
Bills.
Saints, and Lions.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
blowouts. They. I mean, the Lions game and the Browns game was actually interesting at the very beginning because the
uh-huh.
Browns' defense was actually holding them, stopping them, keeping a buck with them. But then they got blown out late in the game. They just couldn't keep it together anymore. Honestly, the Browns just had some pass catchers. I think they could actually be decent. I just think it's got to be hard for anyone who's trying because it's literally just um, one guy out there trying to run the whole thing. I guess the rookie you can say is doing all right, but that is then again saying that you're kind of leaning on a rookie. I think he was a late round pick to really make noise for you.
I don't even think the Browns need a pass. They just need someone to throw the ball. I mean, if you saw the one interception, Joe Flacco, he just threw it up, and the Browns, I think the safety was just there, and he just like easily caught it, just kept both feet in bounds. It was like, bro, what are you doing? So if the Browns had a competent quarterback, I think they would probably win a game or two, or win a game or two more. That they probably would have beat us. Um, I don't know if they would have beat the Ravens. The Ravens they're another story. We'll get to them in a little bit. But you're right. The Falcons pretty much were in control of that game. I think they just kept letting their foot off the gas. I think they, had a good bounce back from last week after they got a good old ass whooping. Saints, Bills. I didn't watch that. I'm not gonna lie to you. Didn't watch the Panthers. Well, it was on the multi view, Lawrence. It was on the multi view, but I wasn't paying attention. Chargers, Giants. I said after the first Giants touchdown to throw some money on the Chargers, and I feel bad about that one because Justin Herbert got outplayed by rookie starting his first game. And should we be surprised? No. And Herbie, I was starting to think, hey, maybe he turned it around, but maybe he just had a good 3 games and he regressed back to regular Herbie. So I'm back to, not trusting him. It's pretty bad when you get outplayed by a rookie. I'm not gonna lie. Um, Doing the same things that he does, but he was doing them better and not making mistakes. So that just tells you all you need to know. Um, and the Eagles Bucks, like I like this game. I think the Bucks just started off slow. They honestly had a good chance to win. I think Baker really screwed himself by throwing that fourth quarter interception when they were in the red zone, and he, instead of just taking a sack like he should have, or maybe just getting like a yard or two gain when he could have ran, just throwing the ball and trying to hit. I think it was Ibuka was running to the corner, but he just kind of threw it like off balance and it got picked. So I mean, if he just takes care of the ball, I think the Bucks have a good chance to win this game. And I had I had a lot of money on the Bucks money line. I made 2 bets on that, and I bet on their spread. So I'm still pretty high on Baker though. He kept them close when honestly the Bucks had a good chance of getting the doors blown off of them. He kept them in that game. So shout out to him. And the Eagles kind of fell apart offensively in the second half and defensively, honestly, in the second half. I'm We'll get to the Packers in a little bit, but I'm kind of shaky on the Eagles too, as much as I am the Packers. Um, then the
I'm
next
not
one,
fearing the fear in the Packers yet. I think they had that dud game against the Browns, but the Browns were at home, and well, we seen like last year, for instance, the Ravens lost to the Browns in Cleveland. So Cleveland does just make those random wins. Um, Honestly, I guess, but the real big thing about the Packers game last night was that like Parsons got injured at one point, so there was a whole drive where Parsons wasn't a part of it, and they kind of took advantage of that. Then there was another drive where I'm pretty sure one of the corners got injured for the Packers, and then they just took advantage of that. I just thought it was really good play calling on the offensive side for the Cowboys. And let's face it, the problem with the Cowboys, they were without CD Lamb. That will be the biggest like red flag that the Packers defense couldn't stop a CD-less Pack Cowboys, but we know the Cowboys offense is always pretty good. So like, and it wasn't even that part of the team that failed him. It wasn't the offense for the Packers. It was the defense that failed them. We kind of have a
yeah,
knowledge that the Packers always get the defense going, and we think they're going to win a lot of games this year. So they'll have home field advantage in the playoffs when it's cold, when that defense can do its thing.
yeah, you're right. Let's save them for the end here. From the 4 o'clock windows, though, we got Colts Rams. I think the Colts should have actually won this one. I think Tutu Atwell, he dropped the touchdown right at the goal line, or not dropped, but he fumbled it into the back of the end zone, so it didn't count or whatever. I
Yeah, but
saw
that
that
was a
little.
Colts guy. That wasn't Tutu Atwell.
Oh, not too. That was Donnie Mitchell, right?
Yeah, yeah, he'll grow to regret
Yes, I
that one
think.
forever.
Yeah, I think the Colts have a good chance to win that game because I think the Rams kind of just started off slow and then kind of got their groove back in the fourth quarter. Stafford just coming in clutch. Jaguars 49ers, I didn't watch that one. I think that one was blacked out for whatever reason, so I couldn't see that one on Sunday Ticket. Um, I don't know if you were able to see that
I
one
was
either.
watching that one. I don't know why that was blacked out for you, but
Yeah, that was
Jacksonville
blacked.
dominated that one. The score also in that one will make it look like it was nicer than it was. It wasn't total dominance control, but it kind of was what Jacksonville should have been doing against the Bengals. Like Jacksonville should have beaten the Bengals. Let's face it, like pretty solidly. They were just shooting themselves in the foot. This was a Jaguars team that didn't shoot itself in the foot for the first 3 quarters, and then just didn't seem like it cared enough to like put it out in the misery in the fourth.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I'm not gonna say the Jaguars played down to the competition, but I don't know. I'm not a big fan of them, especially seemingly how they let us beat them. We didn't have a starting quarterback. But I did want to touch on the Ravens getting smacked by the Chiefs. Now the Chiefs, they did get Xavier Worthy back, so that's I think the big highlight for this one. But I do want to say, the same energy we would give in the Bengals for not playing any defense and for their star quarterback not doing enough. I think we need to keep the same energy for Mr. Lamar Jackson. And the Ravens fans are crashing out right now, and it's it's a great time over here in AFC North. But I mean, he had an interception, he had a fumble. I think in the Ravens territory, so the Chiefs had an easy score off of that. Um, People were saying he took himself out the game. I don't know if that's true. They said he had a hamstring. He looked fine to me. He didn't really look like he was limping too much, so maybe it was just precautionary. But they got dominated from start to finish, and it's been like, I mean, this one and then the Lions games. It's like I don't know what's going on with the Ravens, other than their defense is trash. And I've been telling you guys for the past 2 years that the defense is suspect, and I think it's definitely coming to fruition, especially with all the injuries. I think their defensive tackle got put on IR for the rest of the season. I forgot his name, but I don't think he's coming back this year. So got that. Kyle Van Noy. I think Humphrey is out. They got a lot of injuries. Any takeaways from this, Lawrence? I don't think the Chiefs played particularly well. They played well, but I think it's because the Ravens defense is just terrible.
I'm also in agreement that we somehow forgive the Ravens every year about their defense. Because every few games they
Mhm.
show us that, the defense isn't complete trash. But then I also believe it's because the offense has the ability to put up 34 and 38 at any point, any game. So that way, when the defense does give up 14 to 21, it's like less suspect. But yeah, you're right. The defense can't stop anything. Uh, I feel like the more complex offenses, well, many of them more complex. The offenses with good quarterbacks always seem to be able to dominate um, the Ravens defense. And then teams with mediocre to mid-range quarterbacks, but nothing else, seem to struggle, or with everything else, seem to struggle. So, like, for instance, if the 49ers played the Ravens, I think the 49ers or the Ravens will take care of business with the 49ers. But we could probably say the 49ers are as equal and on par, even though they're 4-0, or sorry, 3-1 now. But
Pretty much.
they're just not. I feel like the Ravens could take care of the 49ers because Purdy is, um, I don't want to say expected. Like there's like things that you kind of expect that he's going to do. But I think that also goes to show with Lamar. When you got these more complex defenses that are good at going against these better quarterbacks, Lamar's arm is not getting him out of these games. And then when all they got to do is control his legs, they really just completely nullify him. But he can
Yeah,
really
I think
stat pad against some bums though.
Yeah, I think if they don't get the run going, then they become one dimensional. And then once Henry's off the field, then you only got to worry about Lamar. Once it's Lamar and Justice Hill or whoever they have in the backfield that's not Derrick Henry, then okay, there's a good chance it's a pass play. Maybe we don't have to stack the box, and then all we got to do is put a spy on Lamar and just put some pressure on him. So I mean, it's very easy game plan if you can take out Henry and stop Lamar from running or limit his runs, then you have a very good really good chance to beat the Ravens. And like you said, their defense is suspect, and uh, we've been giving them a pass because they can beat up on crappy teams, and it makes them not look so bad. So we just got to keep the same energy. I see a lot of people not keeping the same energy, but we got to. Um, don't want to crash on them too much though. Um, Bears Raiders. Now this was an interesting one. The Bears came back late in this one, but I think Gino threw 3 picks, right? Didn't he throw like 2 or 3 picks and then basically let the Bears come back in
Yeah,
this one?
that's typical Geno stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, I didn't watch this one. I didn't have this on Sunday Ticket. I didn't even have Sunday Ticket on. I was just watching the Chiefs Ravens
I
games.
was watching this towards the
So
end
I mean,
just to see. I watched one of the late end Geno turnovers, but no, I watched Caleb Williams make a drive and make a comeback. Yeah, he did his thing.
I will say Genty finally had some success on the rushing front. I think he had a hat trick overall. So looks like he's finally getting the ball like he's supposed to. I mean, they should have been giving him
I don't even think it was that
20 plus
they changed
carries
his
and
stance back.
Oh, they finally allowed him to
They
do
let him do
that.
the Michael Myers stance this week.
Hey man, I mean, I understand it's probably not what they're used to, but you got to make let him do what's comfortable to him so he can play as best as he can. He's a rookie. You can't just switch it up. That's just like an NBA player like Markel Fultz. Like they tried switching his shot up immediately when he got to the NBA, and he was never the same player. So it's kind of similar situation there.
I agree with that.
And yeah, back to the Packers. I mean, the Packers should have beat the brakes off of the Cowboys, Lawrence. Like you said, no CD Lamb. Even with the Dallas Cowboys having a good offense like usual, like it should not have been a tie in any stretch of the imagination. I think the defense really let down Green Bay because Jordan Love didn't have any problems putting up points. Josh Jacobs could run wherever he wanted to. The receivers could get open if they wanted to, but the defense just played like poop and let the Cowboys get confidence. Especially that I think what really did it was that fumble before halftime. That really gave the Cowboys confidence. Like, oh, we're leading going to halftime. Like, we can actually beat them, even though we're down. Like, I think Bland was limited in snaps. I think Diggs played limited snaps too. Like, defense was pretty decimated, so they were like just rotating guys in. Like, no one could really play the full amount that they wanted to. And you don't have CD, so I don't understand why this is even a tie. I have my doubts about the Packers after this one.
I think it's fair, but I also think we got to tune it in and bring it back in as the Packers. I think we know how good they are, and we know how good they're gonna be. They're gonna make a lot of noise
Mm-hmm.
and probably make a lot of people pay. Because I think once this team gets really fully going and is geared in the right direction for the playoffs, with a bunch of wins in their belt, I think this team pretty much can make the ultimate run.
I hope you're right. It's not looking good. I mean, you go back to the Browns game, the offense couldn't get anything done. And yes, it's the Browns. They get the best defense, but they couldn't get anything done really. And then you look at this game, the defense didn't play up to snuff. I alluded to their secondary being trash, and you can see from this game, Dak throwing for over 300 yards kind of puts that into perspective, especially when you only have George Pickens, really the only guy out there. Him and Ferguson, pretty much the only main threats. So
Yeah,
I
they kept letting people
I don't
get
know about
wide
this.
open across the middle, which does go back to them losing their safety in the beginning of the game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So maybe when they get healthy, maybe they'll be a little bit better. But it is only week 4. Maybe I'm overreacting a little bit, but I don't know. It's not boding well for me. That's it for week 4. We got, like I said, the Monday doubleheader going on right now. Anything else you want to touch on, Lawrence? Your boys should have went to the UVA game. They beat Florida State on Friday. I should have went to that one.
We had a few guys in attendance, Jacob and Dylan,
Yeah.
but honestly, that was a pretty incredible game from UVA. Fair play to UVA for getting ranked. Um, honestly,
22, right? They're
yeah,
22?
I think so,
22?
something like that. But even better that they're doing better than Virginia Tech. Being the step. I would, pretty
Yes.
much the little brother of Virginia Tech for so long, and to finally like be above them, look better than them. I think says a
Yep.
lot for how the team is moving. Um,
Mm.
honestly, I think it was a lot of good games on this past weekend. I think the best one, like Ole Miss LSU, Ole Miss, I think low key should have won that way more than they did. They outplayed LSU so much. Um, Alabama shocker against Georgia. I don't understand Kirby Smart's inability to beat Alabama, even when Saban's gone.
Roll Tide. Can I get a Roll Tide? Roll Tide.
So yeah, Penn State,
Uh,
doing the Penn State thing. I knew I could make some money with
Penn
Oregon.
State, yeah.
Shout out Oregon.
Penn State just can't win the big games, man. They can't beat anyone in the top 10. They can whoop on anyone lower, but they can't. they can't win the big games. And I don't even trust Aller. I think isn't he like one of the top 5 quarterbacks to come out this year? I wouldn't touch him.
He did not. He
I
didn't
wouldn't
look
draft him.
too horrible in that game. To be honest, he looked horrible first half. I don't know what they sold him in the locker room. Maybe they told him to just throw it. Who cares what happens? Because we're looking like cheeks
Yeah.
anyways. He came out the second half, outside of the first drive, looked pretty solid the rest of the way. I think it
Yeah,
just took him way
I
too
wouldn't
long
touch
to
him.
get going.
Could be, could be. Well, I think that's all we got for you guys. We'll see you later this week. Sideline Brief Podcast, episode 189. We will catch you guys later this week. Peace.
Peace.